Good afternoon, Moin sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. All good afternoons.
Yeah. Sir, can we start the session?
Yes, please.
Sir, DG sir, can we please start the session?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you. A very good afternoon to all. I, Anubha Chaurasia, welcome you all on behalf of FIEO. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this session on API integration and bulk upload facility for self-certification of eBRC with DGFT. To start with, I request Dr. Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO FIEO, for his welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first thank Mr. Moin Khan and his team for sparing their precious time for this important interaction. In fact, we have traveled a long distance since the launch of eBRC by DGFT way back in August 2012. In the meantime, based on the feedback of stakeholders, bankers, Central Bank of the country, DGFT has decided to launch the self-generation of the eBRC facility, for which a pilot test was conducted in November 2023. And finally, the facility has been rolled out from 1st of February 2024. This has hugely benefited the export sector, particularly in addressing the transaction cost of exports beside the time. All the exporters have been benefited with the launch of self-generation of eBRC, particularly the e-commerce player, because for e-commerce player, the value of export shipment is pretty low and the numbers are pretty high. So there have been cases where the entire profitability of the e-commerce exporters have been wiped out with the BRC charges. Some of the bankers were charging BRC charges as high as 1,000 rupees to 1,500 rupees. This also benefited those exporters who were exporting to countries under the OFAC sanctions, because a lot of bankers, even after crediting the foreign exchange into the exporter's account, were reluctant to issue the eBRC for such exporters. So this is an extremely tiny DGFT, which has helped the export sectors a lot. And we are thankful to the DGFT for organizing various sensitization programs with FIEO on the self-generation of the BRC facility. And we are equally happy that now, since the new added features of the bulk uploading and the API integration has also been provided, we are having this interaction. We all know that the uploading facility was demanded by the exporter sectors, as many of them wanted to have the facility of generation of multiple eBRC in one go, which uploading facility will provide. The API integration will provide interface to the ERP module of the individual companies also, beside verification of the eBRC as well. So these kind of digital initiative is definitely keeping DGFT on the forefront, and these kinds of trade facilitation measures will help India also a lot, particularly when we are looking into now the different kind of ease of business report in the Be Ready report of the World Bank. Let me also address some of the concerns also and flag those to the DGFT. The first concern which I would like to flag here, which have also been put up by us in some of the session with the Honorable MOS also. This is with regard to column 13 of the eBRC, which refers to the net realized value. If you're looking into the net realized value, it takes into account the deductions such as commission, discount, freight, insurance, and other charges. And therefore, the net realized value is akin to the FOB value. We have requested that either the net realized value may be converted to the FOB value, or net realized value / FOB value may be mentioned in column 13, because a lot of exporters feel that tomorrow, if they have to go back to the customs for settlement of the drawback or ROTTEP or also CTL, which is given on the FOB value, custom may raise an objection that this is the net realized value. They don't know whether it's FOB value or not. A lot of the exporters are also not generating the self-generating eBRC because they lack understanding on this aspect. The second request is that few of the banks still have not come on board. We will request the DGFT if some kind of communication can flow to these banks, particularly private bank. One of the large bank, Yes Bank, is not there. I'm not sure whether they have now been onboarded on the platform. An equally important issue is the lack of understanding on the side of the trade also, because a lot of small exporters feels that once they generate the BRC, like in EDPMS, the EDPMS module will be automatically updated. In the previous module, when the banks were issuing the eBRC, many of them were issuing the eBRC after settlement of the EDPMS, or whenever they were issuing the eBRC, simultaneously the entry in the EDPMS was getting updated. So our request to DGFT is that if they can have some kind of message exchange with the individual banks, where whenever the eBRC is generated, some message goes to the bank, which help them to update the EDPMS entry, or till such mechanism is developed, some kind of message should flash on the DGFT, the eBRC module, that exporters, after downloading the eBRC, they have to approach the bank for settlement of the EDPMS, because we feel otherwise many of the small exporters who are not aware of the procedure may land themselves into problem, because tomorrow if the EDPMS entries are not updated, any of the investigating authorities can issue them the show cause notice or call explanation for them. Thirdly, there is a lot of technical gap between the platforms. For example, if I'm looking into the IceGate 2.0, DGFT platform and EDPMS, particularly the EDPMS has not updated itself. And this is causing huge problem in transmission of the data. We are writing to the Cabinet Secretary who is heading the National Trade Facilitation Committee also, that there should be synchronization of the technical standards of all these platforms. And preferably if a single agency may be given the task of updating these platforms or incorporating new features, so that simultaneously everywhere this kind of development take place and the agency has a holistic view also. This is something which may help the trade also a lot, and probably it may address some of the hiccups which is being faced in various systems, particularly in the EDPMS system. Finally, as a long-term roadmap, we want that the DGFT BRC module may itself be developed as a single repository of all the foreign exchange inward and outward remittances, so that we can look into discussing the EDPMS or IDPMS. The DGFT systems can take care of all these problems. If that happens, probably this will help the trade a lot. So I would not like to take much of time. I would like more to listen from the DGFT officers, and also the challenges which the industry may be facing with regard to these features or the earlier features, so that the DGFT can address them. All I will request the industry to be proactive. If they are providing feedback which is helpful, probably DGFT will go an extra step to address that. So with these words, I thank Mr. Moin Khan and his team for this wonderful initiative and joining hand with FIEO for propagating the same. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for addressing the issues of the exporters and raising them with DGFT. Now I request Shri Mohammad Moin Afaq join DGFT at DGFT headquarters. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you firstly to FIEO for organizing this event, this outreach program. I mean, it's quite timely, just that we are in the midst of a lot of things, so that's why we have to rush it. But it's timely because we've rolled out, and the bulk upload feature has implemented. We've got like 1,800 hits on that from various companies. They're still, I mean, they're testing it out. Some of them bulk upload attempts have been successful. They have passed all the validation rules, which means that it is already building up traction. The other facility API is also live, and people are figuring it out because that's a slightly more complex and more sophisticated method. Before I get into these into the brass tacks, I'd like to address the larger discussion that Ajay sir had raised. So the motivation for eBRC comes from the issue of proliferation of various systems. At one end, you have Softex, then you have you have an eBRC system, you have an EDPMS system, you have a separate FETAS system, etc. And in addition, banks also report to certain intelligence agencies on all their remittance records. So the exporters are asked to duplicate their efforts on different fronts, and so is the bank. With that intention, the idea was to repurpose eBRC in a manner that makes it functional for all users. Secondly, there is this larger issue with e-commerce exporters, wherein no matter what we do, there is a certain cost that banks impose on the e-commerce exporters for the reconciliation. And given the transaction cost of a shipping, for each of these entries, it doesn't add up for the transaction value of one courier shipping bill, etc. So with that, as long as the banks were involved in the process, they were spending some manpower, and accordingly they were imposing certain costs. With self-certification, we moved the onus onto the exporter, trying to save that cost. Notwithstanding that, EDPMS still requires your write-off. So in this regard, I would like to present that we've been writing to RBI to either integrate EDPMS with eBRC or just make a small change in their FEMA rules, and instead of EDPMS, just mention eBRC. The second part is easier to do because technology changes in the government space takes time. I have, it is my personal experience that they are open to this idea. And particularly because the design suits them. I would request FIEO to also put in a word in this regard so that this gets done quickly. The FED, the Foreign Exchange Division under the RBI, is the concerned division which works on this matter. That being said, I also like to explain what the larger design of the system. So this system, this eBRC system, is flows from the philosophy of trust but verify. So similar to customs, wherein till 1995 odd, each consignment and each passenger who used to come at the airport used to be examined. Then they moved to a risk-based examination. Currently, the in risk-based examination means that more than 85% of all consignments are get a pass-through without physical examination. Notwithstanding this kind of a facilitation, the interceptions at customs has improved. They're able to track misdemeanors in a more intelligent fashion. So eBRC is also an initiative in that light, wherein we are saying that let the exporter certify, and the banks also have a post-certification access to our system. Banks can come in, they can do any kind of examination, and if they don't find the certification suitable, they can flag those BRCs or the IRMs if at a later date they realize that the IRMs are not issued in the right manner. So either the IRMs or the BRCs, they can flag it. Once flagged, the BRCs are of no use. They cannot be used for any claim of refunds or any claim under the foreign trade policy. So so my larger point is it's a thought through system. The idea is that two things. One is to facilitate the exporters by reducing the number of touch points that they have, and also the second part is reducing the cost that they have to suffer. The way I see it is that eBRC, we are already got a in principle sanction from GSTN that all invoices will flow into our system. Just a matter of a couple of months that the invoices will actually start flowing into our system, which means that it will add to the robustness of the system. So all service exports will get accounted in a manner which is better than any other system right now. For goods export, shipping bills also, the similar mechanism is going to play. So at the end of the journey, basically, as Ajay sir was saying, there has to be one single system. And the last point that I want to address it is, why is DGFT doing it? Why is not the other agencies, etc., doing it? Is because because nobody else is doing it. That's the simple answer. It's not like anybody's mandated us to do it in this manner, and because the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is strongly committed to the idea of trade facilitation, of ease of doing business, or reducing compliance burden. So it falls squarely in our domain to work on these trade facilitation agendas, and that's why we are anchoring this. So with that, I'll just quickly dive into the PPT slide. So these are the definitions. We've discussed this earlier also. What is a eBRC and how it is used? I'll share the PPT subsequently. The previous workflow was that you had to go to the bank and take a certificate by depositing documents. What we learned from this experience is that banks generally rely on the exporter to tell them what goes where and why did the money come in. So in the current, similarly for services. So next. So this led to a lot of issues. There was substantial burden at both ends, at the exporter, at the bank. There was a lot of paper being wasted. It was not a very green process. It was not a very eco-friendly process. And because there was so much of compliance asked, there was also delays in getting the export benefits or closure of the advance authorization or the GST refunds, etc. The one major issue was also the courier and postal exports. So with that, the additional issue was the proliferation of systems that we discussed. Next slide. So the major changes, as I said, move to a trust but verify system of self-certification. It's a costless process, it's a paperless process, and it accounts for a risk management, a post-audit mechanism, which will account for all the risk. And it's a rule-based system. This is the screen. So if you go to DGFT website, go to services, go to eBRC, these are the screens. So I'll quickly just go through the tiles. The first one shows you all the IRMs that have come from the bank to the exporter's account. This is done mapped on the IC and the PAN. So you get to see your IRMs, and not the other exporters' IRMs. The banks get to see whatever they have transmitted. So it's like a Chinese firewall wherein everybody gets to see what is relevant to them. The next button is the bulk generate eBRC. We'll come to that. Then you can also the bulk generate eBRC is that we'll discuss, but the generate BRC, the next button is that you just come, you do this an online interface, you fill in the data, you do a submit authentication, and it gets generated. But then for single, you'll have to generate one by one. Bulk generate, you do an upload, a validation, and it gets generated. We'll elaborate on that. The next tiles are for viewing or cancelling an eBRC. You can see there are certain MIS reports like view, IRM utilization report. There's also a bulk download request to get all the details of your eBRCs for your own internal reconciliation processes. Then you have your help manuals, etc., which give you the step-by-step guidance. There are certain data points also provided. For example, the rules. What goes where? You cannot have IRMs from multiple banks clubbed under a single BRC. You cannot club different kinds of purpose codes into a single BRC. You cannot have. So those kind of rules are listed. You should go through those rules. Now, the next style is also purpose code to SAC mapping. So as you know, purpose code is a category of defined by RBI. The issue is that purpose codes are dated by almost 2 decades. The modern nomenclature especially to measure services is the SAC code. Purpose codes are around 20 odd. SAC codes are of the order of 600-700. So it is more granular, it is more relevant to the current trade pattern. So because we need to keep both ends tied up, so we've done a concordance from purpose code to SAC code mapping, and that will help you to identify, and choose the right purpose codes or the SAC codes accordingly. The other details are on the bank's onboarding date. There was this point raised in terms of banks onboarding. So I'd like to inform that all big banks are onboarded. Standard Chartered had not onboarded till last month and is now on board. Now Central Bank of India, that's the only major bank that is not come on board. Except for them, all banks which have a certain volume are already on board. There are certain Sahkari banks which are not on board. We are trying to create certain utilities from them because they are reluctant to spend in the software required for such purposes. We are trying to create some kind of other mechanism of authentication. So those Sahkari banks plus a couple of like Russian banks such as Sabar Bank, etc. They are where the transaction volume is very low. So central bank is our point of focus. They are already working on the 3.0 version, and we hope to close that very soon. The next tiles are on API credentials, API call ledger, and API help. So API credentials is where which we'll discuss today. Call ledger gives you a view, a transparency on what are the API calls made, and the last tile gives you a detailed help manual. So all of this is there on the website. Notwithstanding what you can pick up from today's meeting, I urge everybody to refer to the manuals over here, go through them, try to understand, and we'll be happy to be of any assistance at any point in time in case of any confusion. So this revamp workflow, we are now in the ninth month of ninth now in fact the 10th month since this pilot launch, and I think a lot of people have gone through. I'm happy to report that we've got hundreds of billions of inward remittance recorded into our system, and we have around 70-80 billion dollars of eBRC generated under the new workflow. So which means that things have been ironed out. We've been able to work through the issues. We've got the threshold volume, and with this initiative of the bulk upload and API, I think whatever gaps are there, that will also get addressed. So the process flow for bulk upload is that just now the exporter logs in. There's a template spreadsheet, performa spreadsheet. They need to populate that. You can configure your ERP systems to generate that spreadsheet, and then you also take into record the validation rules. The spreadsheet should be in compliance with those validation rules. After that, you just have to come upload that. The system will check the data for compliance. If all the rules are satisfied, it will generate the eBRCs in one go. Currently, you can generate 1,000 BRCs in one go. We'll increase that to 10,000 BRCs in one spreadsheet, right? And I think 10,000 is where we are going to stop. We are not going to say that you generate 1 lakh eBRCs in one go. Do it in 10 goes, but 1,000 also a reasonable number, so good enough to start with. So that should take care of the larger corporates who have a lot of like EXIM transactions, inward remittances coming in. I'll just go through it screen by screen. Next. So next. Okay. Next. So this is the tile. You click on this. Next. This is a button. bulk generate eBRC. You upload it under the category, whether it is IT services, whether it's deemed exports, physical exports, or non-IT services. Once you upload, convert next. Then you have to sign that. Once you sign that and save it, you do a submit, and then your file has been submitted successfully. At the next step, you would be required to check whether it is the upload status should be processed, and after that, it will also show whether it is successful or not. After clicking the process button, you can see the details of what is generated and all that. This is so this was about the bulk upload facility. I hope I'm not rushing too fast, but it's a simple process. I mean, I don't see any issues in the bulk upload process. There are similar processes in the certificate of origin, other systems and other institutions also use such systems. So we are also using it. The API is one of a kind initiative because from what I could understand, there are no other government departments providing this kind of an engagement. So we've been proactive in this regard. Now, what you need to do is, firstly, you need to create API credentials. So DGFT does not require any third party as far as API credentials are concerned, because it's a question of authenticity of non-repudiation. So basically, even if there's a third party software that you want to integrate, you are required to create the credentials. So if you go on this screen, you are required to enter the details for which you need to generate the credentials, download the credentials, the secret key, etc., and then add the IPs from which these hits are going to come, and then based on that, the API, once you've generated credentials are successfully generated, the authentication of the API will happen. There's an auth-based authentication involved in the API. So first step, you register, you get your credentials, then you use those credentials, because this is not an open API. This is this requires verification. So our technical team is also there if you have any questions on the technicalities. So once you have that, basically the front ending part of DGFT is done. You've generated this. You'll have to do it at periodic intervals. Periodic intervals where you'll have to keep authenticating the API. I think
180 minutes time for processing.
Okay. So that's what I mean. I'll just confirm on the validity of these credentials. So this has definitely got the interest of various firms, etc., and also certain startups who intend to offer these services to the exporter. But kindly bear in mind that those startups, any services that are providing is in a relationship between the exporter and the software provider. For us, the gateway is through the exporter. So the exporter logs in, creates its credentials, and passes it on. Right? Or they use it internally. That's how it is.
1 year.
These credentials, as I checked, will be valid for 1 year, but we'll review that also. Next. So these are some of the rules, just to summarize and recapitulate. These are the rules which are applicable whether you're doing a single eBRC generation, or you're doing a bulk upload, or using API, etc. The API, when you hit it, it will give you the error codes. It will tell you if your push is not successful, it will give you the error codes. It will tell you, or the bulk upload also will give you the error message if it's not successful. Notwithstanding, If you still have any problems, you can always reach out to the toll-free number or raise a help desk ticket. Or if you have specific feedback only on the point of the design, the rules, the API implementation, the purpose code mapping, then you can write to the concerned division. But support is left to the support team, which is the toll-free number and the help desk. Most of these issues get addressed at the help desk level. So rest assured, I mean, you'll not face any major pains. We have a very professional contact center support team over here. Right. So with this, this is the summary of my presentation. We'll be happy to, if FIEO can anchor the rest of the seminar and let us stop. I mean, if you can facilitate the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer those questions.
Thank you, sir, for your address and giving a very elaborate presentation on how to go about the newly introduced facilities. So we will be starting with the Q&A. For Q&A, we have Mr. Moin as well as Mr. Yash Gondolia. So, sir, we have received a question over chat box which asks that multiple IRMs can be generated through bulk upload. Can this be done through the bulk upload facility?
Multiple IRMs are pushed by the bank.
Okay.
So there's no issue in the IRMs. Banks can push, and banks do it in bulk only. Banks don't do it on a case-to-case basis. They just push in bulk as part of their batch processes. They are integrated through API already with us. So for the last, as I said, like last 9 months odd, they have been doing that. Every bank has its own cutoff date. And we've received upward of $300-400 billion of IRMs into our system. The bulk upload is to generate multiple BRCs in one go. So you can generate 1,000 BRCs in one upload.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the clarification. We also have another query from Bidilite. They want to ask, the option to download for IRM utilization in bulk is available only for a period of 15 days. Can we look at extending this period to maybe 3 or 6 months?
We did explore that. That's a system issue. That affects our performance because that's a bulk this thing. I mean, so currently we've kept at 15 days. We will, based on given that feedback, we'll review it. It definitely cannot be 6 months because 6 months for certain companies would mean, I mean, for example, for Tata Consultancy Services, it would mean around a couple of $1 billion of remittances. So that becomes, in terms of IRMs, it becomes a huge data set. No system would be able to handle that. So not 6 months, but yeah, we will review it as we stabilize to increase that window from 15 days.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So we have the convener of e-commerce of FIEO, Mr. Mrigang Gupta, who would like to share his thoughts. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, sirs from DGFT and FIEO. So I have a question to DGFT. I feel this is the right forum, so I'm questioning this. So in e-commerce exports, we have quite a few people who receive payments from OPGSPs or facilitators like PayPal, Payoneer, etc. So they generally are issuing an FIRA or an FIRC or a similar document, which has to be then submitted to the bank, and then we have to process the uploading. Like then they have to generate an IRM. So, sir, can we request the DGFT to push such facilitators to directly probably submit like or generate an IRM and report it to the EDPMS rather than us taking those documents and then going to the bank and then generating an IRM?
Yeah, so basically the point of contact for the IRM is the bank. Now, as you mentioned, Payoneer, there's a lot of remittance coming through Payoneer because, in fact, Payoneer would be in the top 100 in terms of receivers of remittance in India. I mean, bigger than some of the listed companies. Now, what happens that Payoneer receives in, say, one corporate bank, say Citi. Thereafter, it transfers it to ICICI. it is for ICICI to validate and say that, yes, we've received that money. We can't go by the word of Payoneer. Payoneer is not a bank as authorized by RBI. There has to be a certain, compliance with what, as per, like, there's also an overarching regulation by RBI. So Payoneer is not recognized under those this thing. But as we move forward, as we grow in terms of e-commerce and this entire mechanism, we will go back to RBI. But right now it is premature. Right now we are not. Our e-commerce is less than 2% of our overall exports. Once you reach say 5-10%, 10%, then that would be a good opportunity to rework the entire model.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Sir, we also have one more query which says that do we have a list of apps which can be integrated with the new eBRC API interface?
So DGFT is not going to promote any apps. DGFT does not recognize third-party apps, but it's an organic ecosystem that will come up on its own. So rest assured, you will not have to search for them; they'll come to you, because for them that's a business model. We are just trying to facilitate. We've given them the handles to take it forward. I mean, they will do their job, but why we cannot facilitate? Because we can't take ownership, or we cannot be accountable for how they develop their softwares. So it's the exporter. It's a private relationship between the exporter and the service provider.
Sir, there is one more query. We need one BRC against multiple IRMs. Is it possible through bulk file? Multiple
Yes.
IRMs for one
Yes.
BRC.
Yeah, that is possible. That's the short answer. Yeah. No issues on that. See, whatever you can do through the normal screen, instead of doing it one by one, now you can do it in one go.
Okay. Final eBRC column number 8. Whose number will come? Exporter invoice or bank bill number? For column 8, for the final eBRC generation.
Invoice number. I mean, you have to give the invoice
Exporter's
number.
own invoice number. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Rajesh, your query is answered here. So, software exporters need not fill soft-text form anymore. Please confirm.
So, as I said, like right at the beginning, what we are trying to address is a lot of issues. I mean, it's a whole of government issues. Yes, soft text is a dated process. As on date, till the time RBI revises its rules, soft text will continue to operate. But I mean, if good sense prevails, some of these systems will get rationalized, including how you work with EDPMS right now, not just soft text, but also your engagement with banks for EDPMS knocking off. So just give it time. Only yesterday we had some discussions with the concerned officials in the finance and the regulators concerned. So hopefully not just all of this will get reconciled, but the short answer is that as on date, all the systems are working in parallel. The nuanced answer is that in the long term, all of this will get rationalized. Not just the soft text or the EDPMS system, but also your exchanged, your SDF, EDF, your declaration forms that you submit at the time of shipment. Those things will also get rationalized as we move forward.
Okay, so I'm getting many such queries in the chat box where exporters are asking, is the recording available, or will we share PPT and everything? So the thing is that this meeting is live on YouTube, and already we have around 100 people who are watching it online. While in the Zoom meeting, we have around 276 people. So you can go and watch it there also. Okay, so.
So there's a question, I think, do we need to inform banks after generating eBRC?
Yes.
You don't have to inform anybody. Banks also have access to your eBRC system. Whatever you generate is already available with the banks. In fact, banks can put certain risk management rules and also flag your your eBRCs if they find some kind of deviation in terms of third country invoicing, etc. As I mentioned, our larger design principle is trust but verify. So we trust the exporter to generate the eBRC, and we leave it to the banks to verify it on a using system-driven rules, etc., not manual examination in a smart manner. So banks, you don't have to tell the banks will have that access. But yes, I mean, on the ground level, you might have to go and tell them, sir, these are the documents, please knock off my EDPMS, etc. Till the time RBI makes those changes. But rest assured, I mean, those changes are bound to happen, just that we have to keep laboring on that. Yeah, please, ma'am. Yeah. You're muted.
No, why you're muted? Yeah.
Yeah, please unmute your. Your audio
Hello?
is.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
In bulk DRC upload, we have a column like a commission and bank adjustments like commission, then discount and insurance value. So at the time of IRM is when we receive the payment from the customer, we receive the IRM which is deducted of bank charges. Okay, and customer was paid the 100% amount to us because of bank charges. There is a shortfall was 20 to 50 USD. In that case, we are issuing the less BRC than the invoice value. In that situation,
So
how we can tackle
that's an important question. Now, what happens is that in some cases you get the gross remittance. That is, you get the remittance inclusive of your freight or insurance or those kind of fields. In some cases, you get the net remittance. So in our form, we have the option of you stating whether it's a gross or a net. If you choose the gross values and declare your other charges, it will net off. If you say that this is a net of value and you declare the other charges, that will be just for record, but your net value will not be impacted. If you have, just I request you to go to the screen to generate eBRC. You can see that you have both the options to report on a gross level as well as on a net level.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Also it's there in the FAQs, so you can always refer to the FAQs. I mean, that will also give you a good sense of how we designed it. I mean, so it's a very important question because that, in fact, if you're not accounting it and reporting it properly, all data will get corrupted. So, it basically both scenarios are captured. It's for you to decide and let us know. Okay.
Ms. Soumya Bharti, please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, in the bulk BRC upload now, there is Excel sheet in format. SAC code column is mentioned is compulsory. What is mean by SAC code? It is
SAC code is for
sections.
services, madam. For services. So if you are a service exporter, then you would be raising your GST invoices. All GST invoices, you have to declare your service export service category. So that is the code. That is.
We are tire manufacturing company, so we are not in the service sector.
So
we
you
are
don't
in
need to
goods.
mention. So for
But
goods,
that
so when you're
highlighted.
uploading under the, so see, ma'am, when you go and do the bulk upload, you have to select the category: goods, merchandise exports, or IT exports, or non-IT exports, or deemed exports. So if you would be required to upload under goods, and you don't need to fill the SAC code, your validations will pass through.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Raj Vaidya, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So my question is, we have a shipping bill in euro currency, insurance in euro currency, and freight in INR currency. How we are going to upload the eBRC on the DGFT portal? Because there is no
eBRC
currency
generated in, eBRC is generated in rupee terms only.
IRM.
So IRM will also have your rupee value clearly specified.
exporter have to mention the freight insurance and commission value in terms of the IRM currency.
IRM currency is euro itself, but my freight is in INR.
So exporter have to convert it to the equivalent IRM currency. On basis of that, it will get the net realized value.
Exchange
Okay, so
rate.
we have to. Sorry, sir.
So the date of exchange rate would be based on the date of realization. You can use the CBIC standard rates as benchmark. You can convert it. If you have
Okay, so
multiple currencies, then you convert it and standardize it.
sure, sir. And one more question from my side. Okay, sir, is there any timeline given to the bank to go live on the DGFT portal? As we have a scenario wherein our shipping bill is lodged with bank A, and we have taken eFIRC from B, as we have received funds in our B bank. But our B bank is not live on the DGFT portals. So there are many pending cases which are in because our banks are not live on the DGFT portal.
Which is, if I may ask, if you can kindly let us know, which is this B bank?
Standard Chartered Bank.
Now it's gone live. Standard Chart has gone live. So now we can request them. And for this transition period between A and B, we've given the option also that Stand Chart can now upload the BRCs, I mean, push the IRMs even for the cases before the go live, their go live date.
Okay.
Because Bank A cannot do it and Bank B is now mandated to do it. So they will have to take up your cases, approach Stand Chart. If they follow the, I mean, we've given instructions, they should address your issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Dipesh Bhatia, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. So, sir, our question is, we understand there are certain rules to follow to prepare that Excel, which need to be uploaded. Like, certain cell has to be in, a specific format, and there has to be some limitation of the numbers as well. So could you please explain a bit about that format? That will be really helpful if, that is possible as of now.
It is already available in the Excel sample Excel format. So whenever you will get, you will download that sample Excel. Instructions are already mentioned over there as well.
So basically, I mean, you can download the sample Excel. If you have it on the laptop, you can open and show it. We'll try to show it, but it's there on the thing, and also the help manual is there.
We have seen that Excel, but it's quite technical in first glance. That's why.
Yeah, so thoda to it will be technical. Na? The idea is that you are not the expert. You know things better. The onus is on the shoulder. So for if you like for the non-technical part, we'll try to explain it. But
Sir, in the meantime, can I take the other question?
Please.
I have one more question. So
yeah, please.
Can you please show the API payload?
API payload, the sample is there in the help manual. Let me just show both of them one by one.
Mr. Yudhishthir Chawla, please unmute yourself.
Yes, my small query is whether once IRM is tagged to the shipping bill, it means it will will be settled IRM as well as the shipping bill, and it will not appear for the any reminder from the bank.
No, that is not currently, as I said, EDPMS works separately. You will have to still go to EDPMS. I mean, we are just saying that banks will not charge you for generating eBRC, but EDPMS is a separate matter. In the long term, another couple of months, EDPMS and hopefully should start talking to DGFT systems. Then banks will not trouble you. But as on date, we have to be very clear that there are two separate systems, as was the earlier case. The only change is that instead of banks generating it for you, you are generating it yourself.
Okay. It means the bank will keep on sending us a reminder that IRM has not, the IRM as well as the shipping bill not closed. So we have to provide details to the banks.
Yes, sir. Because as I said, like earlier also, you were doing two separate things. One for the BRC, the other for the EDPMS. So that only change that now you don't have to go to the bank for the EDPMS thing, eBRC generation. So, but hopefully, sir, in 2025, banks will stop bothering you once you've generated details. But as on date, the status quo is different.
Okay, we have made already the BRC from the system, but it means we have to go again to the bank to close this IRM as well as the shipping bills. We have to provide them details.
Yeah, till the time FEMA, like the RBI gives a very clear instruction, you will have to go, because ED payments is a RBI mandate.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Let's
Thank
hope
you.
that, let's hope RBI gives us instructions soon.
Mr. Ramanand. We cannot hear you, sir. No audio.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We are unable to hear you. Mr. Kaushal?
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Now you're audible to us. Please.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, the session is very wonderful, very nice, informative. I
Sir,
have one
audio is not clear.
No, it's okay. It's full only.
Can you please type your query in the chat box?
I have already typed. No, now it is okay.
Yeah. Now it is fine. Please, sir.
Yeah. I have increased the volume. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, the session is very nice and informative. Thank you for all the efforts that has undergone in arranging this. My query is very simple. See, we have been effecting shipments under drawback and different export incentive schemes. See, what happens is the customs invariably, for all drawback shipments, many of the drawback shipments, they are asking us to submit the eBRC, which I feel is not warranted. But somehow it is, they say it is not getting linked with the ice gate channel and all. Is that correct? And what is the remedy available for us, madam? Because in a year, roughly about 500, 600 cases of drawback, particularly to airport and other ports. They are asking that statement. And not only the statement, eBRC copies, which I feel is not required. I require DGFT, I request DGFT to clarify in this regard, please.
Basically, the drawback rules say that they can ask for the realization details post the drawback benefit has been given, right? I mean, so they have the mandate to ask for realization details. We do transmit the eBRC to customs. However, how they access it and all that is not under my specific purview. That is CBIC's domain. We do understand the pain. We'll take it up in the long term. But right now, we've done our part. We are transmitting it to customs.
Thank you, sir.
Sir Kaushal, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon. I just wanted to ask one thing that...
Sir, your audio is not clear.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Now you are.
Yeah, good afternoon. Actually, I wanted to ask, when we put IRM on generating the eBRC, many times it shows this IRM does not belong to this IEC. It's technical fault, or I'm unable to understand, because we have 6 to 7 banks. All banks are not showing IRM in generating the eBRC.
But sometimes depends whether it's coming through some kind of some other remitter, because it will only, the IRM will only show to you if where's your PAN number or IEC. That's how it is. So what you can do is just drop us the details of the issue along with screenshot, because I'm actually doing, it's not clear to me how that can happen.
Okay.
We'll help you out with that. Maybe you give it to FIEO and FIEO can forward it to us. We'll take it up and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, we will share our email IDs in the chat box. Please share it with us with your complaint number raised at DGFT help desk, and then accordingly we will forward it to Moin sir.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Prithviraj Thakkar. Mr. Prithviraj?
Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
थैंक यू मैम। मेरा एक क्वेरी है कि सर ने बोला कि मल्टीपल पर्पस कोड इज नॉट इज यूज्ड इन द सिंगल बीआरसी, लेकिन ये तो हो सकता है कि 30% पेमेंट एडवांस आया है उसके लिए कुछ अलग सा पर्पस कोड होता है एंड बाकी 70% पेमेंट आफ्टर शिपमेंट होता है। तो इसके लिए जो बीआरसी करना पड़ेगा तो उसके लिए दो बीआरसी करना पड़ेगा या सिंगल बीआरसी में होगा?
एडवांस के लिए, एडवांस वाले केसेस के लिए आप कर सकते हो, क्लबिंग कर सकते हो ईबीआर से।
मतलब एक बीआरसी में कर
ओनली
सकते हो?
यस यस।
एडवांस का एक अलग पर्पस कोड है, तो दैट यू कैन
हाँ।
क्लब, दैट इज अलाउड, बट इट जैसे अगर आईटी सर्विसेज का एक पर्पस कोड है और मतलब जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन का एक और पर्पस कोड है, दैट यू कैन नॉट क्लब।
नहीं आईटी के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि हम लोग गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं। तो पहले जब हम लोग पीआई में जाके बायर के साथ शेयर करके एक तो 30% एडवांस मांग लेते हैं एंड आफ्टर शिपमेंट के बाद ये 20% 70% आ जाता है, तो इसके लिए तो पर्पस कोड दोनों अलग होता है।
हाँ, वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो एडवांस वाला पर्पस कोड को आप क्लब कर सकते हो इसके साथ, कोई प्रॉब्लम, दैट इज द एक्सेप्शन। सो रूल्स में वो लिखा हुआ है, देखेंगे लिखा है उसमें।
अच्छा अच्छा। एक और क्वेरी है मुझे कि है एक तो इनवॉइस में हम लोग टोटल इनवॉइस वैल्यू है 10 रुपए, ठीक है, मतलब 10 यूएसडी एंड हम लोग बायर को ऑलरेडी 2 यूएसडी डिस्काउंट दे चुके हैं, तो नेट इनवॉइस वैल्यू है 8 यूएसडी, ठीक है। एंड हम लोग का जो शिपिंग बिल आया उसमें आया है 8 यूएसडी इनवॉइस वैल्यू एंड शिपिंग बिल में 2 यूएसडी डिस्काउंट दिखा चुका है। हम जब बीआरसी करने जा रहे हैं, जनरेट करने जा रहे हैं, तो उधर जो सेकंड जो ऑप्शन है पेज पे जहाँ पे शिपिंग बिल का डिटेल्स देना पड़ता है, उधर 2 रुपए 2 यूएसडी जो डिस्काउंट वाला है वो नेट डिडक्शन उधर डालूं या डू नॉट रिडक्शन फॉर नेट यूएसडी उधर डालूं?
दूसरा वाला जो है, क्योंकि आपको तो नेट में पैसा है ना, तो आप उसको नेट में दिखाओगे, मतलब सो दैट इट, अगर दो इस साइड लिखोगे तो फिर 8 से कट के 2 और 6 हो जाएगा आपका नेट वैल्यू। सो यू डू इट ऑन द अदर साइड सो योर net remains the same. Yeah, so I'll have to take your leave. I will leave. The team will still be there. They will continue to take further questions in this matter. And we'll also, if Shubhangi can be given access to share a screen, she'll show you the spreadsheet as well as the payload, etc. Thank you to FIEO for organizing. I'm available, but just not immediately. We can always connect for further discussions in this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're not getting the option for shares to share screen. DGFT HQ team.
Subhangi has joined through the different screens, so they are not able to.
Okay.
If you can move on to co-host or something, Shubhangi Kaushik is on you.
Yes.
Okay. So we have made her the co-host. Ms. Kaushik, are you able to share screen now?
You just give me a second.
Okay.
Yes, please let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see an Excel sheet.
Okay. So once you download the sample Excel, so you'll get the metadata, I mean dummy data for the IRMs and everything. So what you need to do, you need to go to the second sheet. There's instruction manuals. So it is having all the fields with what are mandatory, what are non-mandatory, and what is the length and what is the type. And we have also provided with the description of each field. So you can have a look there. And what are the allowed formats? They are also written here. And here you can just fill in all the details, the IRM number, IRM date, currency, purpose code for the particular IRM, remittance amount, and your softex or invoice number, your shipping bill date, shipping bill number, your port code. Every field we have provided the description in the instruction manual, so you can have a look there. And we have also provided these are the mandatory fields which are marked in yellow, and which are marked in pink, they are the non-mandatory fields. So you can go through the sheet and you can provide with the valid data in the Excel sheet based on the business rules, so that you can generate the eBRCs.
For those who are finding it very complex, I would request you to see the sample data that is there on the first sheet and then go directly and start entering your details. When you try to upload, if there are any errors for that particular field, you can read the second sheet, which gives you the details of what kind of characters, etc., can be used. So you don't need to first go through the technical details if you find it too onerous to understand. So after a couple of times, you will get a hang of it and you can continue. There will be some learning curve in the beginning, like always. So other than this, Shubhangi, if you can show the payload details also, that will end the
I would request Mukund to share the payload. Mukund, are you there on the call?
Kindly make
Himanshu?
Mukund as a co now. Yeah. मुकुंद कर रहा है मुकुंद कर रहा है
Mr. Mukund, we can view the meeting here. You have started, yeah.
API is already available. This technical document for the API integration is already available on the DGFT platform only. So you will also get to know about the various APIs, like to get the IRM or ORM status, and to generate the eBRC, and to get the status of the eBRC as well.
Mr. Mukund, the screen is not visible anymore. Would you like to again share your screen?
Prabha, there is a merchanting trade query for Mr. Yash. One Deepak Gosrani has given that. If you can please raise that query. Oh, I'm sorry. It is directed to me. Mr. Yash, there's one query from Daikoku Impacts LLP, who have done one merchanting trade transaction on 12th of April. For inward remittance, they have submitted the documents to Kotak Mahindra with a purpose code of P0103. Later on, bank has changed that purpose code to P0108. But till date, this code is not reflecting or has been changed on DGFT portal. So they would like some clarification on that. Because whenever they are raising query for the same, they're getting the reply that the query is resolved or it is with the technical team.
Sir, hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, please go on. You're audible.
Yeah, sir, there are two types of issues that I will like to answer over here. The first issue was raised by one exporter. I forgot their name. It was regarding that they face issue that IRM is not linked with your user, or IRM is not available to you. So we have seen many cases. So we have found that the PAN number in the IRM, which is being sent by the bank, does not matches with the PAN number of the IC holder. So for that, in that case, since PAN number in the IRM is not matching, so it does not get linked with the user profile. So for that scenarios, we have requested in multiple tickets. We are given the solution that bank. We have given a bank provision to modify the IRM, where they can modify the PAN number also. So once they modify the correct PAN number, it will get auto linked with the correct IC holder's account. So they not need to bother about it. So we have taken it to the highest level to the bank also for such issues that from few banks it is very high frequency issues coming where the IRM number and PAN is different for which the from the portal or from the tickets we are getting. So we have escalated it to bank. So hopefully that will resolve. But more or less that is the only reason why the IRM does not show in the IC holder's account. Similarly for sir, this issue where the bank is saying that they have modified the purpose code. So sir, there are two logic at our end, DGFT end. If that IRM is linked with any eBRC, means if it is attached with any eBRC or it is in any draft application, so DGFT application reject the amendment by the bank because saying that it is already being utilized or it is in draft, it cannot be amended. So we give them proper error message back to the bank. Bank receive the proper issue why it has been not amended. Otherwise that there is no system issue as such, the amendment purpose code will not reflect. So amendment of purpose code is allowed at our end and it shall happen. So more or less that should be the issue, that if they might have consumed it in any application. Otherwise they can share the CRM, so we will cross verify and give the answer.
Thank you. I'll tell Mr. Deepak to share it with FIEO. We'll then forward it to you.
Sure, sir.
Anubhav, will you like to continue with the rest of the raised hands?
Sure, sir. Mr. Ronak Shah, please unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you so much. So I had two quick questions. First is, if I'm doing a bulk upload, what if there is an error? So do I need to redo it completely, or it can be partially done, like for few entries it's done and few it's not done? And second question is, what if for a single remittance, I have 3 shipping bills? So do I partially enter each remittance and create 3 line items, or is it a single line item which needs to be done?
So here there is two things. First, if you are failing the one entry, then it will show the particular error on that entry only. So, so you need to modify that entry and upload again for that particular cases. Other get like if you are uploading the 3 entries and 2 get failed and 1 get success, then your 1 eBRC get generated and you need to re-upload the other 2 entries. Yes.
Okay. So eBRC number will be given to us under download.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And for the second case, where multiple eBRC is concerned, so you need to mention the 3 entries for the 3 eBRC like that. For mentioning the one IRM amount, but having the 3 different shipping bill number and invoice number.
So there will be 3 entries in the Excel, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So one more point to add, Ronak, just like last sentence that yes mentioned. So we are generating based on shipping bill and invoice. If you are discussing for goods export, so suppose in your shipping bill you have 3 invoices in each shipping bill, then it will be 9 line items. Okay, for
Okay.
it, and 9 eBRC will be generated.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thank you
And
so
if
much
only
for
one
adding that
invoice
point.
is there in that shipping bill, so one that means just you can correlate with that.
Just to confirm, the IRM amount and all will be same, like it will be repetitive entry, right?
But mapped IRM amount, there is one field in the Excel you would have seen the mapped IRM amount. That that will be the your realized value which will go into the eBRC. So that
Okay.
will be different.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much for adding that.
Mr. Sanket Tawade. You are unmuted. Can you please raise your query? Miss Rakhi. Miss Rakhi, please unmute yourself. Mr. Rajiv.
Yes, please. Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Can I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
सर ये एक शिपिंग बिल में बीआरसी जनरेट करते वक्त एक शिपिंग बिल है उसके अगेंस्ट 2 बार पेमेंट आई है अंडर पी 103 के अंडर, तो इसके लिए 2 बीआरसी बनेगा या मतलब एक ही बीआरसी में इशू होगा?
आप क्लब करके एक eBRC बना सकते हो।
अच्छा।
और 3 एंट्री के हिसाब से मतलब 3 eBRC बना सकते हो, जितने एंट्री के आपको जितने eBRC 1 to many भी करना है तो भी कर सकते हो दोनों।
नहीं, शिपिंग बिल एक है, पेमेंट 2 बार आई
यस
है,
यस,
तो मतलब एक बार भी
तब
बन
दोनों
सकता है, 2 बार
IRM
भी बन
क्लब
सकता है।
करके। यस यस।
अच्छा, एक इसमें एक है, एक यूएस डॉलर में पेमेंट आई है और सेकंड जो है इंडियन करेंसी में आई है पेमेंट, तो दोनों केस में अलग
नहीं,
अलग
तो आप
बनेगा?
नहीं कर सकते। यस, तो आपको अलग अलग करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि आपको eBRC जनरेशन रूल्स की गाइडलाइन फॉलो करनी पड़ेगी इसमें।
ठीक है। अच्छा,
सेम
सेकंड क्वेश्चन
करेंसी।
है। हाँ जी,
बताइए बताइए।
सेकंड क्वेश्चन है कि उसमें जो फ्रेट और इंश्योरेंस का पार्ट है अंडर जो अपना 12 कॉलम के अंडर, तो ये हमें इसमें एज पर शिपिंग बिल जो वैल्यू डिक्लेयर की हुई है तो उसमें डिडक्ट करना है या नहीं करना है?
अगर आपका रेमिटेंस है वो ऑलरेडी डिडक्टेड है तो आपको नहीं करना है। अगर वो ऑलरेडी डिडक्टेड नहीं है रेमिटेंस, फाइनल अकाउंट क्रेडिटेड जो IRM है आपका,
फॉर
तो
एग्जांपल
आपको मेंशन करना पड़ेगा।
फॉर एग्जांपल $100 की पेमेंट आई है अंडर CIF कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंडर, तो उसमें $10 का जो है वो फ्रेट पार्ट है और $1 का इंश्योरेंस पार्ट है। हमें पेमेंट आई है $100, तो उस केस में हमें
तो आपको
जो है
यस,
इसमें
तो आपको इस
इंश्योरेंस
केस
और
में
फ्रेट
आपको
माइनस
डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा। यस
इसमें डिडक्ट करना है।
यस यस,
हमने बैंक
क्योंकि
से
आपकी
पूछा था
रेमिटेंस
तो वो
ग्रॉस वैल्यू पे आई हुई है तो
हाँ,
इसमें आपको फ्रेट इंश्योरेंस पार्ट आपको डिडक्ट करवाना पड़ेगा।
मैंने डिडक्ट किया था, लेकिन उसके बाद बैंक से बात हुई तो कहते नहीं आपको डिडक्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप विदाउट डिडक्शन इसमें मतलब वो बीआरसी इशू करो। फिर उसको कैंसिल करके मेरे को दोबारा से इशू करना पड़ा।
किसने
विच
हाईलाइट
वन
किया
इज
था आपको
करेक्ट?
ये?
हाँ जी,
ग्रोस अमाउंट पे आप एक बार FAQ भी आप देख लीजिएगा। FAQ में भी हमने मेंशन किया हुआ है सारी चीजें। अगर
अच्छा जी,
आपकी अमाउंट रेमिटेंस अमाउंट है वो ग्रोस वैल्यू में आई हुई है
हाँ
जिसमें
जी,
ऑलरेडी इंक्लूडेड है फ्रेट
हाँ।
इंश्योरेंस, तो आपको डिडक्ट करवाना पड़ेगा। अगर वो पहले से डिडक्ट होके आई हुई है आपको, तो आपको डिडक्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो आपको टू बी नॉट डिडक्टेड वाली कॉलम में आपको ये वैल्यू ऐड करनी पड़ेगी फॉर
नहीं,
इन्फॉर्मेशन
हमें
पर्पस।
हमें पेमेंट जो आई है मतलब $100 की आई है, और फ्रेट जो हमने यहाँ पर इंडिया में पे किया है, फ्रेट और इंश्योरेंस हमने इंडिया में पे किया है, तो मतलब एक्चुअली FOB वैल्यू जब फॉर एग्जांपल $89 बनती है,
नहीं
तो
नहीं
हमें
एक
इसमें
मिनट
मतलब मेंशन करने की जरूरत है या नहीं है? क्वेश्चन
सर
इज
सर आपका आप फ्रेट इंश्योरेंस इंडिया में पे किए थे ना?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
आपका $100 का बनेगा। आप
हाँ,
सही बना।
$100 की इनवॉइस है,
जी
उसमें
जी
से
आपका
फ्रेट और
$100 आपका
शिपिंग
पूरे
बिल
का
में
बनेगा।
मेंशन किया हुआ है।
हाँ आपको कमीशन इंश्योरेंस डिक्लेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
नहीं जरूरत है।
नहीं नहीं आप यहाँ पेमेंट किया ना, आपको जो और आपको उसका पेमेंट आया है तो आपको डिक्लेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
नहीं है, ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
Mr. Lahiri, please unmute yourself.
पर सर एक बस एक ये रहेगा कि सॉरी मैम, सॉरी टू इंटरप्रेट, वो ना हम लोग का दो फील्ड है सर एक्सेल में देखेंगे, डिडक्टेड और इन्फो वाला। तो आप डिडक्टेड वाले में मत डालिएगा, इन्फो वाले में डाल दीजिएगा कि हमें भी आइडिया, मतलब डीजीएफटी भी जो इन्फो वाला इन्फॉर्मेशन इसलिए कलेक्ट कर रहा है कि हम फ्यूचर में उस पर भी और कुछ इन्हेंसमेंट कर सकें, तो वो हमें हेल्पफुल रहेगा। ओके मैम।
Mr. Lahiri, please raise your query.
हाँ, मेरा शिपिंग बिल में एडी कोड है एसबीआई का। अभी 90% पेमेंट आया मेरा एसबीआई में उसी इनवॉइस का, 10% आएगा आईसीआईसीआई बैंक में मांग रहे हैं। तो अभी जब हम ईबीआरसी इशू करेंगे तब क्या हम 90 एंड 10 दोनों क्या एसबीआई से दे सकते हैं?
यस, आपको दो eBRC आपको जनरेट करने पड़ेंगे, दोनों अलग अलग बैंक के।
तो मेरा एडी कोड है मेंशन है एसबीआई, तो आईसीआईसीआई में तो 10% आया।
हाँ, फिर भी आप क्लबिंग का अलाउड नहीं है दो डिफरेंट बैंक के लिए, तो
हम्म,
आपको दो सेपरेट eBRC जनरेट करने पड़ेंगे, 90% फॉर वन IRM एंड 10% फॉर द डिफरेंट बैंक IRM।
अच्छा, तो उस समय जो एडी कोड का ट्रांसफर करना पड़ेगा ना, ये जस्ट एडी कोड एसबीआई रहने से चलेगा? सपोज 10% आया मेरा आईसीआईसीआई बैंक।
यस यस, जो भी चलेगा। आपको जो शिपिंग बिल में आपका जो आईडी कोड है वही आपको
हम्म,
मेंशन करना रहता है eBRC जनरेट करने के टाइम।
ठीक है।
Mr. Gopinath, please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Madam, while creating eBRC, the freight insurance commission and discounts column is available. It is mandatory to provide the details for creating eBRC. Our money is fully received against the shipping bill value. While you declare this value is mandatory. Hello?
Can you repeat your question?
Sir, while creating eBRC, that freight insurance commission and discount column is there. Able to fill these details is mandatory to provide these details.
Their question is it mandatory to fill the
Yes.
information while creating the eBRC?
Yes.
Yes, if you are paying the amounts, then it is mandatory to fill. If you are not paying any amount like that, so it is non-mandatory.
Okay. In that bulk up upload column also, in bulk upload facility that file, that details is not there, sir.
Yes, yes. If you are paying that amount, then you need to fill that freight insurance and commission. If you are not paying any amount like that, then you don't have to mention that.
Okay, sir. And one more.
Okay. Sir, please unmute yourself again. Mr. Gopinath, please unmute yourself again.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So one IRM received in advance and subsequently the amount received in state payment. The both club together and make the eBRC is possible, sir? In different purpose code.
Is it related to goods only, or it's related to purpose code is based on services as well?
Goods. It's goods only, sir.
Yeah, then you can club that purpose code. Advanced purpose code can be clubbed with the goods as well, goods purpose codes, and as well as the service purpose code.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Miss Rakhi, please unmute yourself. Miss Rakhi. Okay. Mr. Deep Gosrani.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, madam, my query is regarding eBRCs to be generated for merchant trade transaction. Is it compulsory to generate eBRCs for MTT transaction?
What is the purpose code for your?
Please share
There
your
are some
purpose code.
restriction on the purpose code for that.
My purpose code is P0108 and S0108.
No, eBRC is not allowed for generating the merchant trade transactions.
So for MTT transactions, I don't have to generate eBRCs, right?
Yes.
Yes, and one more query was
It
there.
is also not allowed. System also will not allowed you to generate the eBRC.
Okay, okay. And one more query was there, which Srinath sir has mentioned that we have received one inward remittance. At that time, we have given the purpose code as P0103, but later bank has changed that code to MTT transaction P0108. But till date, the same is not getting updated on DGFT portal. So because of this miscommunication, is it that I have to generate eBRC now? Because for 010,
No.
eBRCs are being generated.
No. You need to reach out to the bank to change that purpose code. If they are not following up, if they are not listening to you, you can drop a mail to the mentioned email ID on the DGFT platform as well. Okay.
On which email ID we shall forward the mail?
Okay, I will share that email ID. Is it ebrc-dgft@gov.in?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I will put that in the chat box for reference of all the participants.
Okay, okay. Because bank has done their changes and they have shared the screenshot also with us. And that same screenshot we have mentioned and updated on DGFT portal while we are raising the query. But from DGFT, we were getting the answer that your query has been resolved or either it has been forwarded to technical team.
Sir, you can share your issue with us and we will forward it in our memorandum of issues to Mr. Moin. Okay.
Okay, so this email ID which you have mentioned on that.
I will share that. I will share that. Okay. Just give me a few minutes. Miss Rakhi, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I have a small query regarding while doing eBRC. Our presenting bank is Yes Bank. But sometimes while doing, as we are told that IRM number of the presenting bank against the IRM number of presenting bank, we need to do the BRC. But somehow the third party bank is all IRM number is also reflecting in the DGFT portal. What do we have to do regarding that, sir? Can you please guide me?
Actually, I don't get your point. Can you just brief me with example like? You are muted.
Okay, so Miss Rakhi, please unmute yourself.
Hello. Yeah. Sir, I'm trying to make you understand like the BRC against the IRM number which we are doing from February 24 from the RBI's notification from which we were sent. Like the IRM number which is of our presenting bank, that against that only we were doing BRC. But sometimes the third party IRM number is also reflecting in the DGFT portal while doing BRC. What do we do? What do we need to do against that?
Okay. You need to approach your that bank, which is it related to your IC only?
Yeah, it's related to our IC only.
Can you please raise the help desk ticket and send us on our mentioned email ID? Okay.
Okay, sir, one more, but we have approached to that third party bank. They are saying that one was of Axis Bank and another was of ICICI Bank. So Axis Bank closed our query against, we have raised a complaint also. They were worked on it for around 1 month. Then they closed. But ICICI Bank is saying, will your presenting bank be doing PRC? Because you have to do PRC against the IRM number which is raised by
Yes.
us.
So in the DGFT, the final account created bank will report the remittance IRM to the DGFT portal only. So if you are
Yeah.
receiving your account credited by the ICICI Bank, then ICICI banks have to report that IRM to the DGFT portal.
But they are saying why you will be only doing BRC. We are not liable to do any BRC process, etc. But still we are reporting to our higher authorities, but we are not getting any mail or resolution against that. So what do we do
No, you can
regarding that?
self-generate the eBRC on basis of that. Then
Self-generator, is it possible against the IRM number given by the ICICI Bank?
yes,
Because the AD
if
code
it
is
is
different
yes,
from AD
yes,
code is
there is
different
no
from the
issue.
shipping bill number.
Yes, there is no issue on the shipping different ID code of the shipping bill and different ID code of your bank. So you can
Okay.
self-generate the eBRC for that cases.
Okay, will there be any issue if it is closed from their
No,
end
there will
only?
be there will be no issue on the generation of the eBRC.
Okay. Okay, if they close the issue from their own end only, will there be any issue in the
Actually,
future
this
if
is
the
not
bank
an
itself
issue.
closes?
That's what I'm trying to say. This is not an issue. This is a way of self-generating the eBRC. So in the DGFT portal, final account created bank has to send IRM to the DGFT. So if you are having the different shipping bill ID code than your account created bank, then there is no issue on that for getting the eBRC.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, so we have a query from Victor Forgings. Their query is how to create eBRC for third-party payment, as we have received 80% payment from consignee, which we mentioned in shipping bill, but 20% payment we have received from other party, which we have not mentioned in shipping bill.
So exporter have to generate the two different eBRC. For 80% not mentioning the third party, and for the 20% by mentioning the third party.
Okay. So I request Soumya Bharti. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
The query is in bulk upload Excel sheet, IEC branch SL number is asked for mention, but while we mention the IEC code, that file is rejected.
So there should be some error showing on your portal, right?
There is an error showing that IEC branch SL number must be one character.
So kindly check the Mukund, can क्या हुआ? It is. Can you raise the help desk ticket so our team will look into it?
Okay, sir. There is one more query raised. AD code must be less than 7 character. AD code, sir, it should be in 7 character only. So that AD code is also not accepted in the bulk upload.
No, yes, sorry, ma'am. AD code length is 7. Please repeat your previous question.
Yeah, my previous question is IEC branch SL number. It should be
Yes,
one
ma'am.
character. The error is yeah.
No, it can be two character. It can means if you are a IC holder, so you would have registered your branch, right? So we give you a branch serial number against every branch. So that SL number is for that branch serial number. So if your branch serial number is 1, so you can write 01 also or 1 also.
So yes, my branch code is 792. I mentioned that the 792. After that, this query is raised. IC branch SL number must be one character.
Not about your bank branch. It is about your exporter's company branch.
Do you have the list?
792, I think that much
This is
branches are,
ICICI public transport.
that should not be
Sorry.
in the.
वो कुछ एक्सपोर्ट का कोड लिस्ट उसको बोलो वो कोड क्या है एक्सपोर्ट का कोड है I just want to understand which we are talking about here because from the other sheet of the Excel it's not also getting clear about this slide item, this column I mean.
No,
we are
that's what
trying.
I'm trying to say. The IC branch doesn't mean that you're a bank branch. It means that exporter one IC can have the multiple branch office in the different states, and they have registered on the DGFT platform by mentioning the different branch offices.
Where do we get this list?
It's on your IC profile, so you can check over there and look out your IC branch office.
We will check IC to login किया ना वहाँ पे profile में.
Okay, and second query sir, AD code वाला जो AD code must be in less than 7 characters.
But we have put it 7 only.
Less than or equal to
Yeah.
7 character, yes. So what issue you are facing on that?
No, my AD code मतलब AD code is having 7 character, but query raised it
Yes.
should be less than 7 character.
The
Less
error
than
is
or equal
coming.
to 7 character.
Yeah, you mention in
Yes, yes.
DGFT
Okay, you
file
can
that
just raise a help ticket on that. We will cross-verify that on as well.
Ms. Soumya, you can provide a screenshot also when you will raise the ticket. You can share it with FIEO also. So we will also include it in our memorandum. Okay, Mr. Anu.
Okay, due to paucity of time, I would request the participants to be brief. Please do not extend to one question, two question, third question. Just be brief.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Good evening to all. Ma'am, can you demonstrate the one example of the bulk eBRC in live here? That is easy for us because we are a PCBL and bulk export we have. So that's why I'm asking how it is integrated, how we start from bulk generate eBRC. One example is live. Is there possible any? Hello.
Hello. Help manual is already available on the DGFT platform as well. Let me.
Okay.
Mr. Korfa, I would request you to please go through the site and the help desk, and then we move forward. If you have any difficulty, you can write to FIEO in any case, right?
Okay.
That is already given. We can't have a live now.
It is already available on the DGFT platform as well. The whole help manual, like how you are going to upload the Excel file, what things you need to check, what things you need to care about, like instruction. One shipping bill should have the only one invoice number. Likewise,ly the IRM amount should not be the greater than your whole IRM amount. So all instruction and help manual are already available on the DGFT platform. We will also publish the help video as well on the DGFT platform. So it will be more helpful to the exporter community.
Mr. Nikunj. Nikunj Agrawal.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Just give me one second.
Mr. Senthil Kumar. Sir, your audio is not clear.
Audible? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Audible, ma'am? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, today I upload one Excel file for bulk generation BRC. That file uploaded successful. Okay. Hello.
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
File uploaded successful, but BRC generation is failed because that value is mistake. Okay. Then I will upload that fresh file, Excel file, but it again shows that no record found. One file is source, it failed. Then uploaded file is no record found.
Yes, sir. It is pending for processing. That's why it is showing no record found over there. So once it is processed, either failed or get generated successfully. After that, it will show data over there. Right now, it will be showing you blank over that screen.
Yes, sir. It shows is no record found. Hello.
Just after processing, it will show over there, sir. Just wait for a couple of hours, it will show over there.
Okay. Another one question.
Sir, we have many raised hands. Please, you can type it in the chat box. If the time permits, we will definitely take it up.
Okay.
Mr. Pankaj Rana, please unmute yourself. Mr. Nikunj. Mr. Pankaj.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Nikunj.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. I have one question regarding to my export cycle. Like I currently complete one shipment to send goods to Canada, and I received the payment to my bank, but the payment directly not received by my bank. It will be channelized through SBI Bank, and they lifted the whole amount to my bank account. So how should I close my eBRC certificate?
What was your final account created bank?
Ma'am, sir, the final bank is PSB Bank, and the payment will be directly came from buyer side, channelized through SBI, and then comes to my PSB Bank.
Yes, then you need to, is it in the INR amount or is it in INR, right?
Yes, sir. The payment that we have received from the SBI is in an INR amount, sir.
Yes, sir. So your final account created bank is the PSB Bank, right? So you need to approach your PSB Bank to upload send the IRM for your remittance amount. So if whenever they will send that IRM to the DGFT, you will able to self-generate eBRC for that.
But sir, the concern is that the bank says that the payment is not received directly from the buyer side, so we need a SWIFT copy or like a remittance copy from the issuing bank, like from SBI. Even though I communicate with the SBI bank after after a month, they also not giving a clear statement that how to close it, because they don't have any formal transactions in it. Even I communicate with their head office, mail them, even communicate through phone call, still not getting any positive response.
अग्रवाल साहब आप
you can
मेल
just
कर दें, इसको मेल कर दें, let us
एक
have a
बार
look.
मेल कर दीजिए. Yes.
Sure, sir.
Mr. Pankaj. Mr. Pankaj Rana. Mr. Prashant.
Hello, good evening. I'm a merchant exporter and I'm exporting goods. So while we quoting, we mentioned like bank charges will be in the customer scope. So due to this, due to this clause in the quotation, I am getting like $8 and $10 extra than the actual PO value or invoice amount. So if the goods value, if the PO value or our invoice value is 100 USD, I'm getting like $108, $110, something like that. So I will make invoice for $100 only.
Okay.
So how to close this balance 8 USD, which I'm getting inward remittance extra?
See, DGFT system is not based on your invoice amount. It is based on your remittance received.
Yeah.
eBRC is solely based on your IRM amount you have received. Okay.
Okay.
So you will not face any issue on to get the generate the eBRC for that cases. But you need to see there is nothing is like you need to close the IRM on the DGFT platform and generate the eBRC only. There are cases, there are where several exporters are there who doesn't required eBRC, so they are not generating the eBRC. So there is no time need for you exporters to generate the eBRC, as well as there is no pressure on the exporter to get the eBRC to be generated within the stipulated timeline.
No. My question is, the inward remittance, it will not close. I mean, it will not completely utilize, no, what I am getting as a.
Yes, that are a separate thing. You need to close that entry on the EDPMS thing. So you need to better approach EDPMS closing to the your respective ID bank.
Okay, so for that I need to contact bank only.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that bank can be offset that extra excess amount.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very
Uh, Dripti, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Last year in November, we had exported goods, and till yet we haven't received the eBRC hasn't been generated. So, is there any deadline for generating eBRC?
So when does so have you received your amount
Yes,
remittance, and in which bank you have received your amount,
ICICI Bank.
and when did you receive?
Exactly, I don't remember, around Jan-Feb.
So there is some guideline of the DGFT as per the date notice 33 2023 and 24. So if you have received your remittance before the bank cutoff date, then you need to approach your bank to generate the BRC. If you are receiving the remittance after the cutoff date, then bank will send the remittance to the DGFT, and you have to self-generate the BRC.
Okay, so after the cutoff date, I'll have to generate it through the DGFT portal.
Yes, correct.
And if it's before that, the bank should provide it to me, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and is there any limit for the RoDTEP amount on the same?
Sorry?
Time limit?
Are you talking
No,
about?
there is no time limit. RoDTEP amount is not concerned with the DGFT.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Sorry.
not the right platform for the RoDTEP amount.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
Mr.
please
Vinny.
move ahead.
Sorry.
Next, we're going
Yeah,
to.
Mr. Vinny, please unmute yourself. Mr. Vineet. Mr. Nagarjun.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. Please raise your query.
We are unable to cancel BRC after creation of 120 days by exporter. What is the provision for cancellation of BRC after 120 days?
So there is some time limit for cancelling the eBRC if you have self-generated the eBRC. It is a 30 days limit. If you have self-generated the eBRC, you can cancel within the 30 days. If you are passing that timeline, then you need to approach your remittance IRM created bank. Bank will cancel that eBRC on basis of the exporter request.
Okay, thank you. And one more. Who have their two IRM numbers against one shipping bill, we can generate the one BRC through upload file. Because of there is a Excel file, it is stating that line by line items. I need two IRM numbers combined with one BRC. It is possible through bulk file.
Yes, it is possible.
Ms. Sakshi, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello all. See, my query was for an inward remittance received. For example, if I have raised an invoice for 100 euro and I have received the inward remittance only for 50 euro, partial payment received. So, will the eBRC be generated for such transactions? Because the bank is telling us that for partial remittance received, eBRC cannot be issued.
No, exporter can self-generate the eBRC for the partial amount as well.
Okay. Fine. So I will just check on this. We can go on the DGFT portal and self-generate it,
Yes,
right?
yes, correct.
Okay. No, but so the problem, the issue over here is the invoice period is of 21, 22, and the payment has also been received in that period. So then in that case, we may have to approach the bank.
Yes. It is a pre-cut of transaction, so you need to approach the bank. But bank are also issuing the eBRC for the partial amount as well.
Right, sir. Okay. I will once again just have a word with the bank and take a confirmation. Thank you.
So we have a query from Miss Vanita. The query is they received part advance payment prior to February 2024. The part payment was received after February 2024. Shipment took place after February under single shipping bill. For the part payment received prior to February 2024, who will issue eBRC?
Prior to the cutoff date remittance, banks are issuing the eBRC. After the cutoff date, exporter can self-generate the eBRC. So in these cases, exporter will generate the two eBRC, one from the bank and one from the self-generate
Same shipping bill,
facility.
the one shipping bill that has.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kaushal Sharma, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Actually, we have some queries. Our some payments are coming from Russian bank, Saber Bank. Okay. We are unable to get the BRC from Saber Bank on timely basis, in spite of a long of follow.
Sir, for such transactions, BRC will not be issued. You can send us an email in this regard. FIEO will answer that query. I have already shared the email IDs on this. Okay. Mr. 1+60. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Kumar, calling from CAMS. My query is, can we take single individual BRCs, eBRCs, or it should be taken multiple only, bulk only? Hello?
Sir, can you please repeat your query?
Can we take individual eBRCs or should be taken bulk only? Bulk.
You can generate the individual as well as the bulk. You can generate the
your
both
call.
way.
Hello?
It is your call.
1 minute, one more thing. I am trying from last so many days. When I entered IRM number, it shows that this IRM number does not belong to this IEC. What we should do?
You need to approach your bank to check that IRM with your IC attached PAN number.
Bottom?
You need to approach your AD bank, remittance credited bank, to get it corrected the IRM. So whenever the AD bank will correct the PAN number of your linked IC, sorry?
They are given the IRM number. When I enter the IRM number, go to the bank column, it gives suddenly, it says, this does not belong to this IEC. This IRM does not belong to this IEC. What we should do?
That's what I'm trying to say. You need to approach your remittance credited bank, IRM given bank. They will correct the PAN number or the IC details in that particular IRM, and they will amend that IRM, and you will able to look into that IRM as well.
So we can take individual eBRC also.
Yes.
Repeating your questions, either individual or bulk. As far as the IRM which you say is wrong, please go back to your banker. He will look into whether the IC and the PAN number are in order.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Orientation, please unmute yourself. Orientation. Soumya.
Anubha, I think Swami Bharti already asked the question.
Do you have a question?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already asked the question and you asked me to share the print screen and question.
Yes.
Okay.
That
Right.
Okay. So, Mr. Vineet, please unmute yourself. So you're Mr. Vineet? Yes, sir, you're audible. Please raise your query.
We have generated eBRCs. In this regard, in radio type Vastro account, SPRE account, what is the meaning now?
You better go to the FAQs. We have already mentioned what is the meaning of that.
Okay, sir. And then the one question is, we have received the NEFT payment through the bank. We have to generate the eBRCs.
Yes, you need to approach your bank to generate the IRM for the NEFT payment.
Okay.
And they will upload the IRM on the DGFT platform, and you will able to self-generate the eBRC on basis of that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so one more question. What is the IC branch serial number which was mentioned in the Excel upload?
So exporter are having the multiple branch office of their company. So generally exporter update that details in their IC profile. So on their DGFT have assigned the particular branch code. Like if you are having the one branch in the Delhi, second branch in the Mumbai, so there is one serial number over there. One is for the Mumbai branch, Delhi branch. Second one is for Mumbai branch. So exporter have to mention that branch as a IC branch code. If you are having the head office only, then there is 10 branch code is there, which pertains to the head office branch.
Thank you, sir. So I am receiving many such queries in the chat box where people are seeking guidelines, FAQs of the eBRC. So FIEO has already shared a circular with all its member exporters a few days back in August itself, after the issuance of the facility of bulk upload facility and API integration. So you can go through that email of the circular email of FIEO, all the members, and you can also check it in the your spam box. So you will find a link where we have attached all the guidelines and FAQs and everything related to eBRCs. So I think all the queries are answered. So I request Mr. P.T. Srinath, Director Policy, for the summing up and vote of thanks.
Mr. Yash Gondalia, Mr. Moin, Mr. Arjun Upadhyay. I would like to thank the entire team for a patient hearing and answering the questions of the trade in issuance of eBRC and others. Any further queries, we'll forward that to you. Only request is, Mr. Mohin had answered that particular question. EDPMS, when the eBRCs are being self-issued by the exporters, banks, of course, will have a verification method on which it is done. But the EDPMS needs to be knocked off. So if a small message can be added just for the small exporters, that please submit this back to the bank again, that will be a great help to the trade as such. The smaller exporters are not aware. They think that's the end of it. So then
we have already mentioned that message on the generation of the eBRC tile as well.
Oh, thank
so
you.
There is one message is already been displayed over to the exporters that the EDPMS and eBRC are the different system. Bank exporter have to follow the RBI guidelines for the EDPMS knocking off the guidelines.
Yeah, so that they have to resubmit it.
Yes, sir.
And secondly, there's only one more issue. Is the SWIFT reference number also attached to this? as far as the eBRC format is concerned?
There are on the Swift reference number, I want to convey one more thing. There are various mechanisms apart from the Swift as well. We are also getting the NEFT transaction, RTGS transaction, as well as the different mechanism for the transactions. And we are not in the recent time, USA has blocked the Russia for Swift messaging payment system.
Yes.
So we can't force any banks or any banks that due to their internal policy, they are not reporting the IRM. So that scenario may happen in the future. So to avoid that things, we are not going to add the Swift reference number in the eBRC
Right.
platform, anything like that.
Thank you. Thank you. That clarifies it a lot. And thank you for your patient hearing again. And thank you for this session. Thank you, Anubha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yash and team. And thank you, sir. Thanks to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we are